Now, have you asked yourself the question before about your tonality? When you're making the phone calls and you're chatting with prospects, whether it's a buy side or a sell side of a home, what does that look like? Are you in need of potentially a coach or someone that can help you be able to level up your tonality, your approach, and the way that you're delivering the message to the person that you want to connect with and potentially serve, whether that's on the buy side or sell side? Well, today's episode, we're going to go deep with that process, and we're going to talk a little bit about tonality. We're going to talk a little bit about the guest that we have here today. And rumor has it, he wants to give Mr. Tom Ferry a run for his money. So if you haven't done so, like the episode, subscribe. A big thank you to Liftoff Agent for sponsoring our show here. We're up to 317 episodes now on real estate versus technology. But let's just go ahead and bring the man, the myth, the legend in. We got the coach in the house, Vikram Deol. Welcome to Real Estate versus Technology. 2,500 or 25 million homes sold. Now you're doing the coaching thing. I was actually checking out your website, and so it's Teresa, huh? Who's Teresa?
Teresa, Real Estate Sales Academy, baby. You're hilarious. You're hilarious. Giving Mr. Tom Ferry a run for his money.
I had to, right? We got to get this episode out there, bro.
All I can say is lift off rocks, baby. Lift off rocks. Let's go, dude. So yeah, man. Where do we start? You tell me. You're the man.
Let's go. So let's get a little bit into, first and foremost, before we get into brass tacks, anything we want to talk with for our guest listeners to take from you to apply to their business, because that's our intention with the podcast. We really want to get more into your story. I mean, you don't have to give us a fucking long drawn out story here, but get us the bits and pieces. I saw a video that you did out there talking about how you almost lost it all. You were in debt. You came back from that. You're the master of making phone calls. 250 million sold in real estate. So you used to be a real estate professional. So let's bring our viewers and listeners up to speed.
Yeah, man. I got my start back in Cutco days, right? 17-year-old kid right out of high school.
Let's go.
My brother and I both got my older brother actually got a letter sent out by the company. And I overheard, my parents had a pizza place, and I overheard him talking to book an appointment for an interview. And they were offering $14.25 an appointment. I didn't know that was an appointment. I thought it was an hour, but I was like, yo, I'm making like $6, $5 an hour here, chopping onions all day long.
Yeah.
And, we were like, we got sent out letters because my parents were like the rich people, right? We lived in the nice neighborhood.
Nice.
But I didn't know how to sell. Like, I was charismatic.
Yeah.
And charisma will get you so far. Like, I was hardworking and I was charismatic, but charisma and hard work will get you so far, right? Like my mentor, Sharon, he always says, like, charisma gets you to a point, skills takes you to where you want to go.
Love that.
And I remember him saying that at one of the first, like at a Tom Ferry event. We met at a Tom Ferry event. And when I was doing Cutco, I remember, like, as you get older, you start to think about what caused success, right? So like my first 10 days, I sold $7,420 worth of knives. Wow. And my goal was to beat the previous record, which was 5,500. But at 7,000 or 6,800, you got like 10 grand worth of Cutco.
Let's go.
And I wanted the whole shebang because I wanted to be able to show, flow, and demo everything to prospects, because when I was going through the presentation, I was like, oh my God, my mom and her friends would be the perfect people because they all have pantries and drawers full of garbage. So I've been in the kitchen. I understood.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So I didn't know how to sell knives. I knew how to like hustle for, I sold weed in high school. I knew how to hustle the neighbors and, exactly. Right. Like I knew how to do like a lot of this little stuff, but I remember I asked my manager, right? I wore my only suit that I had, the prom suit. I wore it every day into training. And I remember asking my manager, so what do I need to do to be successful? He says, memorize these 6 pages. And one of those pages was the referral script, right? Like, so I memorized the referral script. And on the referral script, I had it all. I had it all. And I still have it memorized to this day. And so like when I memorized the referral script, I knew exactly what to say to get more referrals. And guess what? When you know exactly what to say, asking for it became easy.
I love that.
And I knew that asking for it the way that they taught wasn't the way. For something in me, it was like, pull your pamphlet out, right? Like, let's say this was my training manual. I
Yeah.
would pull it out, like, actually, even better, bro. These are my scripts right here, right? Well, that's
Yeah.
like, this is my sales script right here, right? Like, no joke. Like, this is my sales script right here.
Wow.
And so, like, I carry my scripts all over the place with me.
Yeah.
Because I'll read them before my sales calls. And so
Mm.
people are like, "Oh, you're so charismatic. You're so..." Yes, I am. I taught myself how to be outgoing and charismatic. What do outgoing charismatic people do? They say hello to people when they enter a room. They make eye contact. They smile.
Yes.
They shake hands. Right? You can teach yourself to be charismatic. You taught yourself to be introverted. You can teach yourself to be extroverted.
Yep. Yep.
But what I learned when I was 17 was that if I followed a process, a higher level of results would come. Now, if you take that process and you layer it with skills, now you can have even a higher outcome. Because I thought I was hot shit until I saw the kid from San Jose that was smarter than I was. And I sold 40 grand, right? Or 30 grand in a 2-week period. It's 25,000 in a 2-week period. And he sold 102,000. And I was like, F me. I didn't even get on the scale, bro. I wasn't even on the scale, but guess what? I still made more money than I had ever made in my life. And I just transferred that into everything I did. So, like, I just brought on 3 setters this week. The first thing I'm doing is I'm building out a small video training portal so that they know what to say. Now, scripts change. Like, here's why most people fail at scripting, is because they think it's black and white. No, it's gray. It's always shifting. It's like the wind. If you say something to me, Norm, I don't know what you're going to say. So I need to have like what I teach my guys, right? Let's see if I can write on this is what I teach my team is this, like, you have to have a mind map, right? You have to have a mind map. So if somebody says to you, like, if somebody gives you this objection, right? Maybe they give you the objection on rates, right? So somebody gives you an objection on rates. Well, you need to have like 3 different things to say. You need to have 1, 2, and 3, because this person rate objection might be they think they're going down. This person might be affordability, right? And this person might think that the market's going to explode, right? And like the whole world's going to come to an end, right? So like you need to have slightly different responses. And the problem is that we don't have a one size fits all.
Yeah.
And that's where agents fail, is that they think that the script that they use is a one size fits all. And like you said, tonality, like, bro, if I called you up and I'm like, yo, Norman, what's up, man? Hey, I saw your house didn't sell. I'm the #1 agent in your neighborhood. Hey, I'm just calling because, like I told you, I'm the #1 agent in your neighborhood. And I saw your house came off the market and I just wanted to, right? If you're the #1 agent in the neighborhood, shouldn't you already know about your house, Norman?
100%. Yeah.
So you're already lying.
Hang up or still listen to you because you're excited. I like that.
Bro, I don't know the last time you got a call from a salesperson that was super excited and you were excited too. You're like, why the fuck are you calling me in the middle of my day?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, fuck off. But if you call,
if I even answer,
dude, the other thing that people say on expires, like, we were blessed. We did like 120 million bucks in expired listings, right?
Love it. Yeah.
I teach my people in my academy, tell them the truth. Like when they're pissed off, be like, hey, I apologize. Like, I apologize. Are you getting a lot of calls from agents? And they're like, oh my God. Yeah. Are they telling you that they have a buyer? Are they telling you that they're the #1 neighborhood expert? Have they been in the home yet? No, they haven't. God, why do they lie so much? And they're like, holy fudge. They just drop their guard. I have a brand new guy in my academy. He sold 1 house his whole career.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm going to do expires, right? 22, 23-year-old young man. He's like, I'm going to do expires. I was like, do expires, get a co-listing agent, and you'll crush it.
Yeah.
He made 10 calls. 10 calls. He had 3 conversations. And one of his conversations was, you're the only honest person that I've spoken to. Here's my number. Call me back in 3 to 4 days. Right now, I don't know how the rest of the conversation went, but at least he was able to open up a conversation. Whereas everybody else, he's like, I'm going to sue these fuckers. These are you're all pieces of you're all fucking scum, right? The guy was
Yeah.
swearing at him, right? And this
Wow.
dude, bro, I love you are really tech, bro. You are really tech. Like, I love it.
Got to keep it up. I see you too. If you're listening, you got to go to YouTube because Vikram over here is writing some shit on the screen. So I like that.
Yeah, I'll show you another piece, bro.
It can't be real estate versus technology if we're not rocking tech, right?
Bro,
So sponsors lift off agent. You
what? The hand cam?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now he's at the ham cam over here. Y'all got to get on YouTube and see what we're seeing here.
Lift off, baby.
Let's lift off. I love that.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna ruin this table because it's not very good, but
it's good. It's whatever.
So yeah, man. Like real estate's fun, bro. But like, if you want to do it at a high level, like you need to have a process for everything, and you need to know how to talk to people in a non-triggering way.
Yeah.
And you have to stop saying like, I'm looking for now business. Like shit doesn't exist, dude. Like
they could smell that shit too.
What was that?
They could smell that. They could smell the commission breath, or when you're calling and you're not sincere. And I saw your post today, and then I commented back on it because it's like, be their friend first. 7 triggers to yes talks about that shit. The first trigger to yes is just care. And I feel like the scripting that you talked about, a lot of people do get caught up. I comment below, viewers, listeners out there, with that process. Oh my God, they just said this word. Okay, if they say this word, it's script 3. And they're like fumbling through the pages, trying to, okay, yeah, I got it. All right, script 3, I'm ready. Like, no. Like, just act like you fucking care.
Well, the whole purpose of scripting is it's knowing the playbook, like the football players, right? Knowing that if you do a button, what is a button stop, button something pass, like it's 6 steps and a turn to the right, or 6 steps or 7 steps right to the left, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you might have to call an audible because that defender's all over you. So you do 8 steps or 5 steps, and you know that you're taller than him, so you can jump over, right? You call the audible, but if you don't know even what to say at all, you just get on the call and like, my buddy Cody, which has been on, and you've been on our podcast, like my buddy Cody, he's got a call agency, right? So if you guys have 2,000 leads in your database, just send me a message. I'll send you his contact info, or Norman's got it too.
Yeah, for sure.
And all you got to do, right, is ask the people, hey, has anybody shared with you the 3 most important things about buying a home in today's market? And they're going to say, no. Oh man, that could be a little troublesome. But why? Like, that's what they want to know. Like the FOMO kicks in.
Yes.
And when you say it slow, they can comprehend it. And they're going to be like, well, no, nobody's told me that. Okay. Yeah. That could be a little problematic, but I know I called you out of the blue, because now they can't say, well, I don't know who you are.
Yep.
So I know I called you. Like, everything's human psychology. Like, everything I teach is human behavior, human psychology. Like, every sentence we write, it's how does that affect the person's brain? How does it trigger fight or flight? Does it? Because if it triggers fight or flight, is it because of the words that we're putting, or is it the tonality? Because sometimes you have to ask tough questions, but if you don't know the right tonality with the tough question, you're going to trigger sales resistance. But if you know how to use your, like, if your daughter came up to you and said something like, Daddy, I had a boo-boo, right? You're not going to scream at her, right? She might have thrown a rock into your brand new truck, and you're like, not the GTR, baby, but like, you're not going to like freak out at her. Like, I mean, if you're a psychopath, you'll be upset, but like, she did it on accident. She's not malicious. It was an accident. So you're going to be upset, but you're not going to like, but that's what people do on the phone with people. Like, I've literally heard people get angry. Well, you put your phone number in. And I'm like, the same person, Norman, that says that on the phone to them is the same person who says that to us.
Yes.
So they scream at them because they don't remember that. They scream at me because like, I didn't give you I'm like, yeah, I went online to Zillow and I found the most asshole realtor in the world. I typed in asshole agents who are going to scream at me and my team. Your name popped up and I decided to call you because I like to get my face pounded in. I'm like, chill, lady. Chill, dude. Like,
Relax.
do you want to grow your business? Because if you don't, I'll just take you off my list. They're like, really? Like, I don't want to call you, dude. Like, I'm not about this whole like, what was it? In real estate, they had this term that was called buy or die.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I don't want to buy or these are human beings. I don't want to buy or die. And I'm like, if they tell me yes, let's rock. If they tell me no, like I'll find somebody else. But like, buy or die is like, you should have follow-up, but let's have conversations, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get to know people. Let's have let's stop calling it buy or die. Like, who came up with this? It's somebody who hasn't prospected in like 30 years. I prospect every day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to buy or die people. I want to I either want them to tell me like, hey, call me back. I want to help, book an appointment. Or it's also okay if they tell me like, dude, I think you're an asshole and I never want to talk to you again. And I just take them off my list. I'm like, cool, bro. Like it's okay.
I love that. I love that. And I just want to say really quick for the viewers and listeners, if you haven't caught on, we asked, and this is great because not a lot of guests do this. We asked to, hey, let's get your story, but you went directly into serving, supporting, and adding value. Like you're like, Cutco, right? And then you went into that, just this add more value. So one thing that came up for me that I wanted to circle back in really quick. So when you got the scripts, you're working at Cutco. And by the way, a little side note, my wife wants Cutco knives. So
bro, I got you. I'll give you the best. I could still sell them, dude. And I still love them.
She wants a set, dude. We're already like, we're set for that. So we're after the podcast, let's talk about that. And so when you got the scripts, like, what did you do? So you already have the charisma. Okay. You already were like smiling, eye contact, what have you. So now you have these scripts and you said, so how'd you pivot? What was the, did you make your own scripts? Did you just change them a bit? Like,
no. I didn't change anything when I was brand new. Like, so let me just like pretend like I have a script. So I went home, right? Yeah. So it's 4 days of training. I went home and he said, you need to memorize page like 6, 12, and 18. I said, okay, is there an order? He said, yeah, 6 is first, 12 is second. By the time you start doing appointments, so you need to know the referral script. I was like, all right, cool. Went home, locked myself into my bedroom, locked myself into the Jack and Jill bathroom, right? Locked the doors, like deadbolts on the doors because my older brother used to beat my ass. Closed all the doors, went in there, got my little sneak-a-toke pipe, put a little weed in there, got the lighter, got the bounty strips, stuck them inside the toilet paper roll.
Yeah. We're getting all the details here, unleashed here,
bro. You have to like when you follow a process, things work. So I said, I can't smoke because I wouldn't get high before training. Like, fuck that. Mike Meditz, I would never disrespect him like that. Yeah. So I wouldn't get high before training, but I would go into my bathroom and every time I memorized a paragraph and I could say it with my eyes closed, right? And the paragraphs are like 3 to 5 lines, so they were baby paragraphs. Yeah. I got a little hit. So I would work my ass off. And within so every day I came back with the script memorized and everybody's like, oh my God, he's so smart. I'm like, I got D's in fucking school. Like I barely graduated. Like I like my counselors were like, your parents paid the school off. Like there's no way. I had like 2 full years of period cuts on graduation. Like we just never went to school because it was so boring to me. I like to learn things that I was interested in.
Yeah, of course.
And so I would memorize the script. And then when I went to the appointments, right, here's the kicker. When I went to the appointments and I would sit down, I'd be like, Susan, I'm brand new at this and I don't want to make any mistakes, right? Like super chill because I knew if I came across polished, because I had every word memorized on every page. Yeah, I could tell you where the typos were because he told me if I knew it word for word, I would make a lot of money. So I followed him. He had a suit, hot girlfriend, Honda Prelude. Why would I listen to anybody else? 1999.
Let's go.
Honda Prelude, leather seats, the VTEC engine. I was locked and loaded, right?
That's fucking awesome.
And I had it memorized, but I had my book open in front of me.
Okay.
And I would go through like 3 pages And then I realized I didn't change the page. I'm um, um, and she's like, "Oh, honey, don't worry. Take your time." And it went from starting the conversation like, "Hey, I got 30 minutes," to like, I was there for 2 hours. She was feeding me sandwiches, making me drinks. Like, we were cutting stuff up in the kitchen, making food, right? Like using the knives, talking, BSing.
I love that. I love
And I
that.
had my script out the entire time. Right. Like, so I practiced how to use the script as a tool in the process. And what it was it was tone, pace, and being conversational. I had a very calm tone, right? Conversational tone is different than podcasting tone. So I'd be like, okay, so do you think we might be able to like sit down like at a kitchen table or maybe somewhere where like I have all this stuff I'm supposed to show you? And she's like, "Oh, honey, come on in." Right. So she was already, because I had a 50-pound duffel bag of knives walking into a strange woman's home.
Oh my
That
God.
she like I could have like sliced and diced her up, dude. And these are sharp fucking knives, right?
Badass. Yeah.
So we memorize the script. The first thing you do is you memorize the script, not because you're going to say it verbatim.
Yeah.
Is because it allows for the pivots. It allows for the audibles. It allows for you to be confident. It allows for you to become conversational. It allows for you to control your tone. You know, when they say this, you can actually consciously listen, right? Because here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. Most people don't know how to consciously listen because they're too busy thinking about what? Themselves and about the right next thing to say.
Yep. Do I need this? Is this good for me? Who's this person? Are they being
So when you know, like Norman's going to say based off of his response, like you guys, when you ask a good question and like, and the person side of you on the other side of the table goes, you know, that's a good question. Cause now they're thinking, like they're going deep. They're like, well, you know, like, honey, what did you do? Well, Daddy, I broke the glass, and I'm sorry, Dad. You're like, it's okay, honey. Where did the glass break? Let's go clean it up, right? Because she's scared that something broke, and you're like laughing in the back of your mind because it's like a $10 glass, no big deal.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Like, oh, thank God you didn't hit the GTR. Oh, thank God you didn't hit the truck, right? Like,
we're good.
So when you learn what to say, you learn to consciously listen. So the first thing about conscious communication is ask a decent question, right? Your first question might be like, okay, but then they're going to give you a response. And if you are capable of listening to the way they say it, their body language, right? How did their hands move, their eyes move, their chest? Did they sink forward? Did they go backwards? Did they light up a little bit? Did they get a little smile that popped in, right? Did they put their hands over their head? Did they grab the back of did they look away? Right? All of these cues that make a great movie great. Did they do any of those? If you're able to not be thinking about, okay, what do I say next? What do I say next? What do I say next? And you're looking at them, but you're like in your head, you're consciously communicating. And now you can consciously listen, and you can consciously ask the next question that helps you take them to where you want to go. But when it comes down to selling, here's the real kicker. Are you more interested in advising them, even if they don't buy from you? Or are you more interested in telling them what you need them to hear so that you can get a commission and then they never want to talk to you again?
Bingo. Ding, ding, ding. I love that. Yeah.
Like when you said, go ahead.
I love that. Setting that intention and being more deliberate. And I just want to make 2 comments really quick. Viewers and listeners out there, definitely a couple note takes. I would say, give yourself a treat. I love that, right? If this, then that. If I finish this, I'll give myself that treat. I'll go with that cookie. I'll go smoke that weed, whatever it is, right? Go out to lunch, right? So if you memorize your scripts and you follow Vikram and you follow the process and you get whatever. And I also like the fact that you used the scripts and had it, but you didn't use it in the way where you went through and actually read it. You made it so the person on the other end knew more of the process behind the scenes. And you were like, I'm supposed to, the script, and I'm nervous. And then guard went down. It's okay. let's just talk. Let's go in the kitchen. I'll make you some food. Let's just try these knives out. Then the person's driving the conversation, but realistically, you're driving the conversation because you knew what's going on. But then also, it's a hard one because you have to set the right intention. Because when people know that shit, like when you know what you know, and you know that you can get the sell, there is some conniving people out there that will take advantage of others because of the fact that they know the psychology behind it. There's that.
And those people are going to do it regardless.
Yeah.
Like they're going to figure, like, you know, people that are going to steal are going to people that are going to steal, you know, and like, if you're a shitty person, then, you know, God help you. Right. Yeah. But like, here's what I thought about. Right. So like when you said, oh, my wife's looking at Cutco, my first response was like, the salesperson to me is like, oh, does she want white or black?
White. I'm pretty sure white. Yeah.
My second response was, right, because the first response always like, oh, I get a commission check, right? The second response is, but why would she even want Cutco? Like, there's other brands out there. Like, why does she even need, like, why did that even come into her mind that she wants a higher quality set of knives? Right? Like, what's the reason behind why she would even want that? Because that's more valuable than her color choice. I want the white ones, but you know, they're $1,800 for the full set, or they're $1,500. And Norman's like, wait, how much are they, honey? Wait a minute, baby. That's like an intercooler, you know, like, let's slow down.
Wait.
And so when you become curious about why people want it, now it allows you to get the emotions out. Well, I want it because we do this and we do that. We're always in the kitchen. I'm with my kids and whatever it is. Like, I want to be able to slam them in the dishwasher. So people have asked me, like, my team always asks me, hey, Vic, how do we easily have a script without having a script, right? Like, how do you have a script without having a script? Well, it's super simple. You get a 1-page document with all of the questions. And then when you're talking with your prospect, you're like, hey, do you mind if I take some notes? I just have like a couple of, I just have our 1-pager that we call it in the office, that I give to my transaction coordinator, I give to my team manager, I give to the listing manager, I give to the buyer manager. You guys make people up. Like, even if you don't have them, like, make them up, right? Like, your filing cabinet is your buyer's manager, right? So I just got this 1 page of notes that I just got to make sure that I, you know, as we go through our conversation, and they're never gonna be like, oh my God, you're creepy, sleazy. They're gonna be like, oh wow, you're taking notes. You actually care about me. The other guy was just talking about how great his company was. And I was like, shut the front door. What about me? Like, you're here to help me. So totally different vibes, man. Like, when you learn to sell, when you learn to sell, you're telling. When you learn to advise, you're guiding. And people buy from the guide, and they run from the teller.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I love that. And it's nice where it's like going back to the 7 Triggers to Yes, just because it's fresh in my mind, rereading the book, read it years back. I just love that kind of just the tonality, becoming their friend. They see that you're an authority, you're guiding them through the process. They then building their like and trust, looking for commonalities. Also, like, if you're in someone's house, or if you're going to reach out to someone, you can always look at the pictures on the MLS, or you can look at what they have in their house, and then you can bring things up. Oh, are you a golfer? Totally off topic, but I love golf too. Right. And start.
Only if you love golf. Only if you love golf.
Exactly. Like, that's true. Or if you have a story that ties into golf, maybe your father-in-law golfs and, you know, just lost.
But if you have, like, you know, I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because like when you actually have, like, when you go into that first meeting and you only have, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes, I don't want to spend 5 minutes. Like, we could have jammed about cars, bro. Like, I built an R34 Integra Skyline. Like, you would never know that it wasn't an R34. And it looked like Craig Lieberman's Skyline from Fast and the Furious. We could have gotten jammed for 20 minutes about cars and style and trucks, like all the shit you love, bro. I'm right there with you. But we've never, ever talked about that stuff, like, outside of like minimal times. And we've, you know, jammed 3 or 4 times now. But we've never talked about it because we always are providing so much value. And when you go right into the conversation, hey, Norman, I know today it looks like we booked in some time to talk about, maybe you're thinking about possibly buying a house in this market. Do you mind if we just jump right into it? Yeah, that'd be great. Like they feel like you have a high respect for their time. Now, when you go through the process
I like that.
and you go something like, oh, I need a big garage. Cool. What do you need the garage for? Well, I have 2 cars, a truck, a couple of boats, ski-doos, whatever, bicycles, golf clubs. Okay, so it sounds like you're pretty active. Do you do a lot of golfing? Do you do like a lot? Oh yeah, dude, I'm always on the golf course. Like you can get them to bring things up without looking at the house and having to ask like the forward questions and build like the, I don't
That's
call
true.
it fake rapport. I call it old school rapport. Now we build the rapport by focusing on the prospect 100%. And bro, like I don't, in a sales conversation, unless I know the person, like yesterday I had a conversation with my buddy. We're like good friends of mine. We've gone out, we've lived in Miami together. We talked and I knew it was going to be a 2-call process. But I went in with that because we haven't caught up in so long and we both are like nomads now. But when you go into the conversation with somebody you don't know, the time to get to know them is after they've committed to you,
That's
not
true.
trying to do the whole like thing. Like post COVID, everybody became like, fuck everybody. I hate everybody. Like the whole world's like so angry at everybody. Right. And so
Locking the
when we, yeah, like locking the doors, like don't talk to the neighbors. Like it's so weird in some places, right? Not all places. So, like I'm over exaggerating. Like it's not so bad. People are still great, but
yeah.
we build rapport by focusing on the prospect, listening to what they say, asking them what they would use the space for, asking them why they need, oh, why do you guys need a set of Cutco in your house? Right? Why do you guys need a set of Cutco? Like, why not just go get some stuff from Costco? Why do you need a 3rd-car garage? Like, why not just have 2? Why do you need the big backyard instead of just, oh, we need the big backyard, Vikram, because our kids are always over at the neighbor's house and the neighbors like got older kids and they got girls over and they're partying and they might be drinking. They listen to music that's got bad words in it. Our kids are like 9 and 10. Their kids are 18, 19, 20. So we just don't, they're great kids. We just don't want them around like that whole party scene. So we want to get a bigger yard for our kids so that the neighbors' kids can come home and we can control the atmosphere. Isn't that a lot bigger than like, oh, you need a bigger backyard so your kids can play? Now, when they tell you rates are high, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. You don't need to buy, Norman. Like, I guess how much longer do you want your kids like being influenced by the neighbors? Because like how much time do they have to be like impressionable?
Yeah.
Whack. Like all of a sudden they're like, okay, $800 extra a month. Yeah, honey, we're just not going out to eat. No more Starbucks. Get these fucking kids. We need them in the house now, right? Because you created so much pain. Right. That's how we sold a lot. We just created a lot of pain with our prospects because we cared about them. And then the flip side of it, real quick, because I know we're running up on time. We go for hours, but the flip side of this is that when a prospect didn't need to move or they didn't need to buy, we would tell them. I'm like, honestly, dude, your home is better than what you're going to find for what you're willing to spend. Now, if you're willing to go up to $1.3 million, $1.5 million, then we should move. But where you're at right now, this home is the absolute best. And just to show you know that I'm not lying, I actually lined up a tour of 5 houses so you can see what 800 to 1.5 looks like. Because I know you can go to 1.5, you don't want to. And they're like, oh, okay, well, Vikram, why did you do that? Like, don't you get paid a commission? I said, dude, I make plenty of money. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I don't need your dollars. I need your trust because I want you to know that we're doing the right thing.
Yep.
And if you buy, I want you to buy and be my client for life and refer me and write me a review, which is why we have 130 Zillow 5-star reviews.
Yep.
And they would be like, well, you're right. We aren't going to buy a home. And my young agents would, Vic, what are you doing, dude? I set up that appointment, dude. That was my lead. And I just look at them and they like give them the backhand look. We get in the car and I say, hey, take a breath. Let's go get a coffee. Let me explain what just happened.
Yep.
And they were like, oh my God, like, I can't believe you would walk away from a $24,000 commission. I said, no. 2 weeks, that phone's going to ring. They're like, what do you mean? So they're either going to refer me.
Yep.
You're going to put me on the Microsoft website as the best human being ever, or they're going to call me back saying they're ready to buy and they're going to go to 1.8 instead of 1.3, and they want to get the biggest, baddest house out there, and they only will use me, which means you get a fatter paycheck, but either way, you're going to get paid. And they're like, yeah, right. 2 weeks later, hey, Vic, we're ready. Or hey, 2 weeks later, hey, Vic, here's a referral. Or hey, Vic, you get a call. Hey, Vic, yeah, who's this? Oh, I saw you on the Microsoft internal website. I'm like, what's that? How did my name get there? Oh, so-and-so put you on saying that you were a super stand-up like human being and that you should be the only real estate agent to be talked to.
Let's go.
Well, that's fucking awesome.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, people forget what you said and did, but won't forget the way you made them feel. So going deeper on that is awesome. And it also reminds me of The Go-Giver, a really good book too, that talks about that. Just giving and giving and giving, and then things will come back. But yeah, I know we can jam out for a long ass time. And speaking of just being busy individuals and being prompt on time. So if you want to go and check out Vikram, links are down below, like, follow, connect, check him out. And as we do close out our today's episode, and we will get you back, and we should probably set up a podcast episode. We get you out to Arizona, get you into the in-person podcast studio, which would be badass. So this is just going to be a little teaser.
Maybe March.
All right, March it is. Hey, March 14th, birthday. So I'm just putting it out there. It'd be great birthday present. You can come out here in the studio. Yeah, dude, we got space for you and everything else in the house. So you'd be good to go. But we'll talk about that offline. What would you like to leave our viewers and listeners as we close up the show? I mean, this has just been action packed. I want people to go back, rewatch this, listen to it over. Just this show alone, it lasts past 30 minutes of time. I feel like people can really be able to utilize this practical action items. But the last thing that you want to leave, plug, take it away.
If a kid from Bakersfield that grew up on his grandparents' farm can learn this stuff, right? It's not your fault you weren't taught, but it is your responsibility to have the life you want, that you learn it. And if you don't learn it from me, go learn the psychology of sales and selling from somebody, right? Like I'd love for it to be me, because if you're in real estate, like this is my mission right now, is to serve with the highest level of training I can. But don't expect, right? Don't rely on hopium and expect your life to get better. Go out there, spend the money, spend the time, put in the effort. It'll pay off. And then once you get the skills, go build your brand, right? Go hit up Liftoff and build your brand, because people need to see you, right? Like if they don't see you, if they don't know what you're about, you're going to get beat by the 20-year-old, because the 20-year-old has familiarity. So learn the skills, get the brand, never turn back.
Boom. Dude, I love it. I mean, absolutely freaking fire episode, and just a lot to unpack there. So definitely rewatch the episode if you didn't take any notes. There's lots to look at there. Definitely check out the Real Estate Sales Academy. Links are down below. Big thanks to Liftoff for sponsoring Real Estate First Technology Show. And Vikram, thanks so much for being on today. This is amazing.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
I feel the love. I feel the passion.
Let's examine.
Let's do it. And to all our viewers and listeners, it is our intention for you to take things from our episode, apply to your business, have more massive success. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like this episode, and we'll see you next week, Friday, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, for our next episode.